today we are going to continue from where we left off yesterday. So today we are doing Proverbs chapter 11, and this chapter has a lot of insight, a lot of wise sayings that we have to take note in our life. So it starts like this. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1, it says, "A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight." Verse 2 says, "When pride comes, then comes shame, but to the humble is wisdom." Verse 3 says, "The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them." Verse 4 says, "Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death." Verse 5 says, "The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness." Verse 6 says, "The righteousness of the upright will deliver them." The righteousness of the upright will deliver them. And it says, "But the unfaithful will be taken by their own lust." But the unfaithful will be taken by their own lust. Verse 7 it says, "When a wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the unjust perishes." Verse 8 says, "The righteous is delivered from trouble." The righteous is delivered from trouble. And it says, "And it comes to the wicked instead." The righteous is delivered from trouble. And it says, "And it comes to the wicked instead." Verse 9 says, "The upright with his smart, the hypocrite rather, the hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor." It says, "But through knowledge the righteous will be delivered." Verse 10 says, "When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting." There is shouting. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Verse 11 says, "But the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted." It says, "But it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked." It is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Verse 12 says, "He who is devoid of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace." A man of understanding holds his peace. Verse 13 says, "A talebearer reveals secret, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter." He who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. And I like the 14. It says, "Where there is no counsel," it says, "the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." In the multitude of counselors, it says there is safety. And verse 15 rather, it says, "He who is surety for a stranger will suffer for it, but one who hates being surety is secure." Verse 16 says, "A gracious woman retains honor, but ruthless man retains riches." Verse 17 says, merciful man does good for his own soul, but he who is cruel troubles his own flesh." He who is cruel troubles his own flesh. Verse 18 says, "The wicked man does deceptive work, but him who sows righteousness will be a sure reward." He who sows righteousness will be a sure reward. Verse 19 says, "As righteousness leads to life, so he who pursues evil pursues it to his own death." Verse 20 it says, "Those who are of a perverse heart are an abomination to the Lord, but such as are blameless in his ways are his delight." Verse 21 it says, "Though they join forces, the wicked will not go unpunished, but the posterity of the righteous will be delivered. Verse 22, it says, as a ring of gold in a swine's snot. So is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. Verse 23 says, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. The expectations of the wicked is wrath. Verse 24 says, there is one who scatters, yet increases more, and there is one who withholds more than is right, but it leads to poverty. Verse 25, it says, the generous soul will be made rich, and evil waters will also be watered himself. Verse 26, it says, the people will curse him who withholds grain, but blessing will be on the head of him who sells it. Verse 28, it says, he who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like foliage. Verse 29 says, he who troubles his own house will inherit the wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise of heart. Verse 30 says, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. Verse 31 says, if the righteous will be recompensed on the earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? If the righteous will be recompensed on the earth, how much more the sinner? This chapter is telling us a lot, and we can learn a lot from this chapter. For example, it started with saying that a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. A just weight is his delight. And the part I said I liked was, he said, when there is no counsel, the people fall. When there is no counsel, the people fall. When there is no one you can go to and ask of counsel, he says the people fall. Looking at the Old Testament, there were times that most of the time the kings had counselors, or they had people that they talked to about a certain pending matter or a problem that is happening in the country, and they talk to them about it. They try to ask them about what their say is in this matter, and most of the time they gave good counsel, but there were times that they didn't give good counsel, and there were times that the kings took the counsel, and there were times that the kings didn't take the counsel. Looking at the son of Solomon, he didn't take the counsel that he was given. Rather, he went to take the counsel from his own friends, and those counsel were bad counsels. It was a bad advice, and we know what happened. The kingdom was divided into two. So now we had Israel and we had Judah, because of the counsel he took that wasn't good from his friends. He should have taken the counsel of his father's counselors. Should have taken those counsel, but he didn't. By saying, in the multitude of counselors there is safety. In the multitude of counselors there is safety. When you have someone which you can go to and ask for counsel, and those counsel are the right counsel, there is safety. And those are the things that we should take note. Those are the things we should learn very well in this chapter. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.